The enchanting world of gambling. Casinos, glitz, glamour, fun, and big winnings. This is the world we know from Hollywood movies. And the symbol of it all is Las Vegas. This is Ian Bujan, and my great journey across America continues. The excitement, the debauchery, and the perpetual celebration. Seriously, that's how the dollars were sprayed?
That's how they sprayed real dollars.
The capital of glitz, glamour, and glamour. Why is it that in Las Vegas you can't even blink an eye when you're at the poker table? One of the casino owner's tricks, you'll never see a clock here. How else do you empty your pockets here? Where's the way out of this building? When in Las Vegas do they laugh out loud, and when do they cry bitterly? And when they lost, I started crying. What is this? A city where dreams come true? Or just a playground for grown-ups?
A huge Hollywood set.
And is it possible to come here with nothing and leave a millionaire? The next half hour, the whole truth about Vegas.
I'm sorry to say I'm sorry about your date. But on my...
Everyone seems to know about this city. As vicious, sinful, and gambling. Las Vegas is a paradise of casinos and slot machines.
Straight up.
Well, or just a paradise for anyone who doesn't like the cold. They say that you should go to Las Vegas in the spring or fall. That's when it's sunny and warm, you know, like right now. It's also nice in the winter. The average temperature stays at the level of 15 degrees. But Vegas in the summer is a challenge. It's 40 degrees, and don't get your hopes up. The tourist traffic here is insane. In this case, Las Vegas is one of the few cities in the world where people enjoy their vacations for weeks without leaving the hotel. Well, except to make a couple of photos as a souvenir are chosen. If you will be in Las Vegas and want to take a picture with this sign, I advise you to arrive early in the morning. Let's say like right now at 9 o'clock in the morning. Because during the afternoon and evening, there are just huge lines. Vegas is endless convention centers, concert halls, and places where you can easily get married. That's what it is, American kitsch. Another specialty of Las Vegas. In Sin City, you can apply to the local registry office and get married in just one day. So young spouses who are very impatient tend to get married here. And yes, the wedding industry here works hard. They even have wedding churches in the casinos.
So Joey, would you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?
In the state of Nevada, where Vegas is located, you only need a passport to get married, or any other ID if you're American. The license is issued immediately. It doesn't matter if the bride and groom have U.S. citizenship.
Was harder than life, man. Wasn't it? I love you very much.
But I didn't come here to get married. I came here to find out how the gaming industry works. And let's start at the beginning, shall we? The slogan of Golden Gate Casino is "Everything that happens in Vegas started here." And that's because this is the very first casino in Sin City. It's got such an interesting atmosphere. Not a lot of people. There's a kind of soulfulness to it. There's loud music playing. It's just kind of fun. And the fact that the casino is decorated in historical style, all made of wood, it creates, you know, such a luxury coziness. You can see it's gotten a little bit old, though. Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., we drank here, historic bar. Golden Gate's only a year younger than the city itself. Las Vegas was founded back in 1995, but for a long time, it was just a major railroad station. By the way, today there is no railroad connection with the rest of the country. There's a myth that the town was founded by mobster Baxi Siegel, one of the most violent mobsters in the history of the country. That's partly true. But Siegel's project, the Flamingo Hotel Casino, was not the first in these parts. Although gangsters did push the Vegas development forward.
Flexing ain't discreet about it, extra real about it. Say you wanna beef about it, we gon' come and see about it. Flexing.
Right next to Golden Gate Casino is Fremont Street, a covered pedestrian street, which is just a blaze of neon signs. It's got convenience stores, bars, and just the perfect atmosphere for entertainment.
Ain't discreet about it, stacking, racking money, power.
But not in the morning and not in the afternoon, but in the evening. The historic center of Las Vegas is Fremont Street. It's where all the oldest hotels and casinos are. What I love about this place is the ceiling. It's something incredible. It goes all the way down the street and it's constantly shimmering. There's commercials, there's chips flying, cards flying. He's done it right. Fremont Street became completely pedestrianized in the late 20th century. And with the advent of the Strip, whose hotels are much closer to the airport, it was relegated to the background. Of course, downtown is different from the main street of the Strip, and first of all, people. You can see that the contingent here is a little different than, say, in Bellagio. I guess I don't want to say poorer, but simpler. Let's put it that way. And there's a lot of beggars here, all standing around with posters. It's a strange feeling. It's a very big contrast. We'll definitely take a stroll down the bustling Strip. But for now, let's enjoy the peace and quiet. In general, Las Vegas itself is like this. An ordinary American city. Not what we used to imagine in our heads when we hear this name. In fact, this sparkling atmosphere is just one street. Just walking the streets of Vegas is cool, sure, but the glittering storefronts just so provoke you to spend an extra $100. I can afford it thanks to a consumer loan from Spera. In one of the casino downtown works my new acquaintance, and maybe she can help me shed some light on the dark side of the gambling business. Meet Christina. Christina works at the Las Vegas Strip. Christina, how'd you get into the business?
3 years ago, I went to dealer school. Dealers is the name for croupiers here. In about a month and a half, I learned one game. And then I went to work downtown. I got hired there pretty easily. Anybody can learn one game here, and you can get a job as a dealer easily.
Las Vegas casinos are, of course, money. A lot of money. Must be a decent salary for a croupier, too.
A day without tips is about $100, give or take. Depends on what casino you work at and how much you get paid in wages. Because here you pay a paycheck for every part. How many hours you work, that's how many hours you get paid. And how many an hour does it take? Minimum is 9, 15 at the most. What about tips? Is that your main income? Yeah. You make tips here, not tips by the hour. Hourly tips are just a bonus, for yourself. But basically your entire paycheck is made up of tips. I see.
What's the maximum amount of tips you've ever gotten? 2,000.
In a week?
Flippin'.
Christina is an eyewitness to people losing everything in an instant. But there are also cases where one of the players has risen to the occasion. Have you ever walked away a millionaire? Yes. Tell me about that story.
It was relatively recent, by the way, and it was all over the local news here about the fact that a man came into our casino and cashed in about $500. That's nothing for a casino. He won $1 million just by playing Cybit. Cybit is an extra option in a particular game. Did you leave a tip? Sure, 25,000.
However, there are only a handful of stories like that. Usually it's a lot worse than that.
Sometimes I feel so sorry for these people. When I first started working, I had a story like this. People with disabilities in wheelchairs came to me to play. There were 3 of them. And they sat down at my table and they were losing and losing and losing. And I had the right to say, sit down at another table, go to another dealer. And when they lost, I had tears rolling down my face. I started crying. They look at me like that. They don't know what's going on. They say, what's going on? Why are you crying? I say, I'm so sorry you're losing. They're saying,
you have tears in your eyes right now. When you look at Christina, you know she always plays fair. But what about the casino owners themselves? That's a piquant question. Do the casinos or the croupiers use any tricks to beat their customers?
no, it's clean, it's transparent. There's no way you can beat anyone. Even we can help. Our players. For example, if it's blackjack, we can help. When to take a card, when it's better to stop and skip.
Falling.
We'll talk more about the bullshit that casinos use to rip a player off. In the meantime, let's ask Christina. How does she feel about gambling?
Do you gamble? No, I tried a couple times, lost, and after that I don't gamble. You never gamble? No. Why? I play every day. I just never lose. Us.
Again. How about you?
Vegas isn't just a casino town, it's a show town. World-class concerts for money. Anything less is free. And it wasn't blackjack and one-armed bandits that attracted Natalia to Vegas. It was the daily shows.
Next to Trump, not far away, he has a hotel. There are many, many pools. DJs often come there. And in the summer, it was very cool there. You come in, there is a party. Just like that, dollars were flying when the DJ was flying. I decided to check it out. I got myself a few dollars. I'm a Russian person. I mean, really, here, just like that, real dollars. $1 each? Yeah, I thought it would be really cool for the show. Spectacular. For an event in Russia, too.
Natalia has her own event agency in Moscow, and she comes here out of professional interest, for ideas and inspiration, although she does drop in at the casino too.
My girlfriend gave me $200 for my birthday. Well, when I arrived the first day, we went with my girlfriend to the casino. I played. Then for my birthday, I was given $200. And basically, every time I go to a casino or friends come over, I have a small limit. I set myself an amount that I allow myself to lose or within which I can. There, I will not be upset if it disappears from me.
But all these small gifts of fortune, Natalia says, are the beginning of hurtful losses. That's the way this town works.
They make a lot of these pleasant moments in the beginning. You go there pleasant, good. And in the beginning in the casino, as I noticed, at least in the slot machines, you win once or twice. It's like you get hooked at that moment, you win. Out of the joy of winning, you lose even more.
The Las Vegas Strip is the heart of the city, the most central street, which is about 7 kilometers long. All the most luxurious hotels and famous casinos are here. A replica of the Eiffel Tower, a huge pyramid of black glass, the Sphinx, Brooklyn Bridge. One can only envy the imagination of the architects who worked here. Without leaving the main street of Las Vegas, you can travel. If you miss New York, here you go. Here you go. And you can also be in Egypt and take a picture in front of the Sphinx and the pyramid. I'm so nostalgic right now because I saw exactly the same statues in Luxor. Well, who hasn't seen my video about Egypt yet? Be sure to watch it. Here is the link. Vov. Egypt, of course, the statues are different. These are hollow. Or you can take a gondola ride in Venice. And no matter what the weather outside or what time of day it is, Venice always has sunshine and floating clouds. I don't argue. Walking the strip during the day is interesting, but it looks much more spectacular in the evening. Well, that's a different story. Almost all of the hotels on the Strip Boulevard in Las Vegas look like works of art. You can wander around them endlessly, looking at the unimaginable interiors. Some of them even have real museums, and every major hotel on the Strip is unique.
Needed.
Illuminated signs are the city's specialty. There are flashlights, diodes, neons on every pole, and they flash all night long. Look, something's about to happen, something incredible. Look, hurry up, hurry up. Well, I wanted to go to the main entrance where the Vegas bachelor party friends were coming, but it's closed for renovations. Caesar's Palace is one of the most famous casinos in Las Vegas. The building is built in the pre-Roman style. Let's see what it's like on the inside. They sure know how to build on a grand scale.
Any other questions? Sure. You've been asked it before. This isn't really Caesar's palace, is it?
Did Caesar really live here?
I thought so.
Caesar Palace or Caesar's Palace is almost 40 hotel rooms. It's where Celine Dion and Elton John have practically taken up residence. The concerts are staggered. In general, casinos try to attract customers who are willing to play. It's understandable. The brighter the signs, the more players at the machines or at the gaming table. For its guests, Bellagio always decorates the lobby. The decorations change from season to season, but it's always incredibly beautiful. I mean, look at it. It's like a fairy tale. It's really beautiful. The music creates this magical atmosphere. And anybody who walks by can get in. Vitaly somehow passed by the gaming business too. He opened casinos in Moscow and in one of the Iraqi cities together with his companions. It didn't work out, but now he knows all the intricacies of such an industry.
Basically, in the end, people lose. Basically, if you take an abstract casino computer, they record all the players' winnings and losses. And if you look at one person in their 20s, here you take a whole table. Let's say there's 1,000 people, and only 3 people ended up winning in 20 years at the casino. Everyone else lost. Probability theory. Casino always wins. It's a classic.
He tries not to gamble either, but right before his eyes, he's the only one getting rich. I'm talking about the casinos, of course. And others were saying goodbye to large sums of money, and they were gamblers.
There's a guy named Levon Aropetian. He was a shareholder in Bachelor from Russia. He would immediately buy $1 million worth of chips and play. Played for 10 or 20 years. Always lost. Always. Eventually, by the evening, he lost. The next 24 hours, he lost. We were buddies with him, and he could sit 24 hours playing, 42 hours playing. I mean, they'd bring him food, and he'd play and stay up. He'd play on Darinal and stay up. But in the end, minus $1 million, minus $1 million, minus $1 million, minus $1 million, minus $1 million.
Can you imagine there's a $500 bet in the machine? You put that much money in there, push one button, and that's it. And this machine has $1,000. Bummer. Vitaly cites official city statistics, which once again confirms to get rich in Las Vegas playing in the casino, it is hardly possible.
50 million tourists. And according to the mayor's office, each person on average, someone leaves $1 million, someone 10, someone $100. The average person who comes to Las Vegas leaves $30,000 here. That's $50 million around. That's the turnover of the city.
But there are some tourists who are definitely not expected here.
Mathematicians and people who aren't allowed here. There's a family of mathematicians, I can't remember their name now. They've been winning, but they're banned from the casino. But again, that's dozens of people. It's not thousands of people there beating the casino.
This story took place in the 90s. Semyon Dukac, a mathematician, was beating Las Vegas casinos at blackjack while still a student. He created the most successful team in history, which in a few years earned in this way $4 million. This story interested even Hollywood. This is how the movie 21 appeared, starring Kevin Spacey.
I'll trade you 10 grand.
It seems like fiction, but we managed to contact the prototype of the main character and talk to him via video link. As they say, catch the exclusive.
We actually beat the casinos in an average socialist way, using some sort of elementary, careful work, neat.
Then Semyon and his crew were kicked out of the casinos, arrested at airports, mistaken for criminals and a lot of cash, threatened with reprisals. But math was stronger than economic calculation.
Winning, and even some of the people I played with are still playing, even today. So it remains possible, but I think again it's a myth that you can get rich so quickly, easily. It's very difficult. It requires effort, it requires knowledge, it requires skill. I cannot recommend it as a method of earning.
Today, Semyon Dukac lives in Dallas and he's an investor.
Such a life experience, Professor. I hope I managed to impress you.
At first glance, it seems that everything is close here and you can get from one casino to another easily and simply. But it's really not. The casinos are gigantic to the point where it can take hours to get there. That's why it's best to use the monorails. There are free monorails that go from, say, Bellagio to Aria, and there is a paid monorail that runs along the entire street. And the price for one ride is $5. You can take it for 2 days, 3 days, and 4 days, and ride as much as you want. By the way, Vegas, in comparison with the same Los Angeles or New York, is a very inexpensive city. And why to inflate prices for travel or food, when many visitors leave all their money here anyway? Las Vegas has about 100 casinos and thousands of gambling halls, and each of them with pleasure and a smile will accept in the arms of all who want to try their luck. Minimum bets are quite small, available to everyone. But the main thing is to stop in time. And here they are, the promised deceptions of the owners of such establishments. Most likely, most players do not notice them at all. One of the tricks of casino owners, here, you will never see the clock. This is done so that players are not distracted by the time and spend here as much time as possible. Despite the fact that everyone has cell phones, they say this tactic still works. There are no windows in the casino for the same reason. It's so hard to tell if it's day or night. And casinos also like to serve wine. But free alcohol is a clear strategy. After all, a tipsy customer loses duration. Well, it's time for me to try my luck. I have $14 I'm willing to spend. I hope I get lucky with Devsa. Well, it's not so bad to go from $14 to $300, but it's rare. The bet's in. And out of $14, I won $300. I'm sure my next attempt won't be as successful. So as I was advised, I think I'll stop there. And how do you feel about casinos and gambling? Let's imagine a situation. You won $1,000. What will you do? Will you take the money or continue to play? Write in the comments. I'm really interested in your opinion. Or maybe you have some stories of your own. The only way to leave Las Vegas with money is to stop in time. Rule of thumb, you win, you leave. It's not easy to do though, and it's not about gambling. Bell desk, valet, Uber, lobby bar, git shop. Man, why don't you just write the exit? I've been walking around here for like 10 minutes. Where's the exit from this building? I'd like to say, like in our good old Russian movie, who builds like this? Who builds like this? Who builds like this, huh? And this is another casino trick, in which all as one are like mazes. You get lost because that's the way it's designed. And then you sit down on a chair at the machine or blackjack table and keep spending money. Clever, isn't it? That way. And there's nothing about going out. I don't think I'm the only one looking for one. At least there's a sign that says the exit's that way. Like the strip that way. No. Cashier restroom or something, a bar or something. You don't have to ask somebody, I don't know. I think I see a way out. Just the most unassuming and inconspicuous one. Well, I do, that's good. Oh yeah. A breath of fresh air. I did it! Shopping in Las Vegas is not the main reason to go to Sin City. However, there are a million ways to spend money on the Strip, Vegas' main entertainment street. Although it's unlikely that children's merchandise like this is in vogue here, Vegas visitors are much more willing to buy alcohol. Las Vegas consumes alcohol around the clock. It is the only place in the state where you can meet crowds of people drinking alcohol on the street. And then there's this drink which is mega popular. It's a frozen cocktail where you can spice up just different flavors and add any kind of strong alcohol. And everyone here just walks around with it. By the way, alcohol in Las Vegas can be bought even where it would seem should dispense only medicines. But in fact, the American pharmacy is an ordinary supermarket. And here you can buy food, drinks, medicines. You can even get a PCR test or inject yourself with a vaccine. And afterwards, you can get an endorphin rush on a carousel somewhere. One of the most famous rides in Las Vegas is the Ferris wheel. Well, I just can't not go on it. Even from a distance, the wheel looks gigantic. And when you're right next to it, just look at these gigantic, simply enormous cabins. I've never seen one of those before. Let's go for a ride.
Huge.
In general, the main thing is to remember in time so that this city of sin does not twist you in its vortex of vices. But at least once Las Vegas is worth visiting. At least to understand what the hell it is that is talked about all over the world. How would you characterize Las Vegas?
It's a huge Hollywood set. It's all plastic. Well, it's the kind of thing you look at for a long time. You look at it, right? When you look at this point, here it's uneven, here it's uneven. Anyway, it's beautiful. Well, when you look closely in the details, 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 in the furniture, this is cheap, this is cheap, this is cheap, this is cheap. It's China, it's China, it's China, it's China, it's all China, all China.
In what words?
How would you characterize Vegas? Flashy, flashy, and probably financially lucrative.
All lucrative. A city where dreams come true, first and foremost. Line. Here, in principle, you can live well if you work even as a croupier. Working in a good casino, you can live. Anything goes. Las Vegas is Sin City, to be honest. That's true. There's the drugs, sex, rock and roll, disco, nightclubs, you name it, you can get.
City of sin, city of lights, city of neon signs. This is not a complete list of names of one of the most amazing cities in the world. Here, like moths to the light, seek millions of tourists from around the world. And alas, quite a few of those who have had enough fun here leave here with burns and penniless. That's how Vegas works. It gets rich off of you and me wanting to get rich. That was Jan Boyan. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and press the bell so you don't miss the next video. And my journey across America continues. If you think that traveling in America is limited only to the United States, I want to surprise you. Stay tuned for the next installment.